Hello everyone, hi, this is Terence. Welcome to another episode of Project Analysis. Today we have a special friend and her name is...
Adeline, hello.
Hi. Okay, so today what we'll be touching on, we'll be going through the Lentor Gardens Residences. Okay, so I believe this is no new... everybody's very familiar with this location already. So what we'll be going through is really deep dive into some of the bigger challenges. Probably also revolving around some questions that or problems that you may actually have brought up to us. Okay, so for today, the content basically simple, like always, project info. We'll just be sharing the simple stuff, what you need to know. And very importantly, the highlight of our video as always, the challenges, some of the key questions. And last but not least, always the floor plan analysis. Okay, so a disclaimer, these are all the research that we have done for some of our inner circle, our friends, our viewers. So before doing any purchases, please do your own due diligence. If need to, you can consult your own agents, or if not, you can always come to us.
Okay, so we will be going through the project brief information. Lentor Garden Residences, the 7 plots of Lentor. So Terence, what do you think of this project?
Lentor is an up-and-coming area. Right, it's new, but it's definitely not very, very new. A lot of people has heard about this. I think many people have visited the show flats. So without further ado, I think we just go straight into the information. Okay, so here's the fact sheet. Basically, you can see this everywhere. So what we're touching on is basically there's only 499 units. It's a development by Kingsford. Kingsford is probably a new entrant into this Lentor area, but they are definitely not new in the Singapore real estate or developers context. Okay, so the TOP basically will be in 2030, and this is very important information because this directly links to answers some of the key questions that we may have, right?
Okay, so let's see. So we will be going through the units made. So as you can see, there's quite a few numbers of the 2 beders, and then it's actually from 2 beders all the way to 4 beders, and also there's 3 stacks of the strata terrace. So what do you think? Let's say if you can get
5 bedroom. Yeah.
So there's only 3 strata terrace.
Yes.
So if you can only get 3 units.
Yes. So what Adeline was actually trying to emphasize is basically a lot of people, some of the clients actually are looking at the bigger unit types, 5 bedrooms. And so far, for the longest time, I think a lot of developers have actually mapped up single loading ones, typical units. So, but today, what we'll be getting is like landed living kind of 5 bedrooms. But then what she wanted to say is, can I understand what I wanted to say is, there's only 3.
Yeah.
So, but then again, of course, we will not really be touching a lot on this because it's a very own stay element for these these strata terraces. So then, quickly, so diagrammatic.
So there's how many floors in this project? Total there's 4 stacks. So 3 blocks are with 16 floors. Okay, and then the last one, which is actually 1 block with only 8 floors.
The lower rise one.
Right.
Yes. And then of course we have the 3 strata terraces just stuck in this little corner over here. And location-wise.
Okay, the location-wise, so Lentor Garden will be this, and then as you can see, starting from Lentor Modern all the way to
Lentor Mansion,
Lentor Mansion and Lentor Central. So there's total of 7. Up to date it's only 7, but then there's another one which is upcoming. There's plot number 8, and then there's another 3
upcoming plots.
Yes. It's also upcoming.
Zone for residential, yeah, but they have not been bidded. But the only one point to note, plot number 8 has been actually successfully bidded by Guaco Land. A lot of people probably will be telling you, hey, Guaco Land is actually bidding quite high. No, the land bid actually is about 30 over, almost 40% higher than Lentor Central, which is basically what we call LG7. We may be using this term a lot in this video, right? So, but still, we really, knowing us, we are always the very careful. We don't only tell you this one can buy, that one cannot buy. We really want to go in deeper to understand what does this mean. Okay, so please stay on, hang tight. Through the probably later part of the video, we'll be coming through that. Okay, so site plan, quickly, just typical site plan. You have a nice pool, and then of course, they are shouting that this is actually something like the infinity kind of pool, which I think really it will add on to a lot. But as always, we are not here to discuss the aesthetics part of things, more like a numbers crunching, and behaviors, right? So there's only a total of 58 stacks. Again, 499 units in all. Okay, so key concerns today.
Yes, I have gathered some concerns today. So there's 7 plots of land in Lentor. So Terence, do you think still can buy?
We will address this in the
Right.
later part of the video.
Right, so the rentability,
Yeah.
is there ever a problem, let's say for investor who wanted to invest in this area? And what would be the pricing strategy?
So one of the biggest challenges or concerns that our viewers, our friends have actually voiced out and come to us is because today already 7 plots. So almost 3,000. I think the correct figure stands at about 2,900 over. I'm sure by now, if you are still with us, you will know actually supply and demand forms a very, very critical factor in all our analysis. So knowing these 3,000 over units, then can buy me. So many coming in.
Yeah.
Okay? So what are all the 7? Just to give you a quick recap, I think Adeline will share with us, right? Well, from the first, actually quickly just up to the last.
Right. So the first one is actually the Lentor Modern, which is already fully sold. And the second one will be the Lentor Hill Residences, Hill Lot Green, Lentoria, Lentor Mansions, and the Lentor Central Residences, which is actually all around here, as you can see. Yeah, so the next one, which is actually the upcoming one, will be the Lentor Garden, which is actually located here.
What we are doing today.
Yes, and the last one will be the upcoming one, which is actually the LG8.
Yeah. Okay. So to answer the first question, actually 2,000 over 3,000 units, is it a lot? I think actually it's a lot, right? But then again, there's on the other side of the spectrum, right? There's this development, treasured companies.
Right.
Yeah. How many units do you remember?
Oh, so quite a bit.
Yeah, just one development alone has 2,000 over units, but we have actually seen a lot of owners actually amassing quite a huge profits over there. Okay, so what we really want to drive through is we cannot just determine whether this is a good buy just based on one thing alone. So we need to actually go in with a deeper understanding, research, analysis to really understand actually if this is something that we will be worth considering. So which is why most likely, but the thing is, the truth is, after July, right? Before this, I think it will be a big concern. But from July 4th, something happened?
Why?
Actually, they announced this, the SSD, right?
Yes.
From 3 years, they went back to 4 years. So actually a lot of people actually will be thinking, wow, cooling measures again. Government, want to cool the market and everything. Wow, market prices will drop. But from here, we really want to say actually cooling measures are not meant to deter a lot of things. Okay, there's good things, there's also the bad things that probably you will feel challenged. But for this instance, Lentor, especially on LG7, Lentor Gardens, right? I think we stand to actually gain from this announcement, this intervention per se. So what do I really mean by that? So before, Lentor Gardens will be the first development that will have the 4 years SSD period. Okay? So before this, all the 2,900 over units, they are on a 3 years SSD. We've actually compiled the SSD end period. Means to say, since Lentor Modern 2025 up to 2028, these people can actually sell. We are looking at, because we are launching this year, right, 2026. So the time that we can start selling will be 2030. And why is this crucial? It's because those people who are actually maybe, there will be times that actually there will be a large number of people wanting to sell and everything. And most of the time, this period will be actually nearer the TOP. For whatever reasons, maybe some people, they go in, they have other plans, they do not want this unit, they want to sell, they want to get a bigger house, or for whatever reason. That's why it relates directly to the period. Most of the time, TOP, they will start selling already. So this gives us actually a 2 years gap. Okay? So when this 2 years gap means to say that the people who want to sell, what did they say? Of course, we are not saying that there will still not be other sellers, people wanting to sell for whatever reasons, but it will be very, very periodic kind of things. So with Lentor Gardens, we stand to gain because we are the only one. It basically forces the buyers and allows them to only be able to sell from 2030. And then of course, the 8 plot will be after us. So talking about this, right? So we will be sharing the Lentor land prices, how can this affect us directly?
So now we will take a look at the pricing. So for Lentor Hill Residences, the land price is actually 1060. So the sales price is actually 1834 up to 2451. So as you can see, the Hill Lot Green is also, the land price is actually 1108 all the way.
So now what we'll be touching on will be the Lentor surrounding land bid prices.
So let's dive into the land price. As you can see, the Lentor Hills Residences up to Lentor Central Residences, the land price bid is actually 1060. So, and the last one, which is actually
Lentor Central.
Lentor Central 982.
So the key question is, you mentioned that the Lentor Gardens price we are launching at, we are bidded at actually 920 PSF, right?
Right.
So the price is about, you mentioned about $2,300 PSF, right? So question in play, does this give us an advantage? What will be our challenges? Okay, so there's two things that we need to look at. Number one, in terms of timing, as what we have shared earlier, we have a good head start. Okay, because Lentor Gardens, LG7 per se, we can only sell in when? 2030, right?
Okay, so right now we'll dive into the land price. So look at this Lentor Garden. It's actually bidded at 920. So they are saying that the price will be starting from 2050, and then assuming that the average will be 2,300 per square feet. So Terence, what do you think? Is this considered cheap or safe?
To be honest, first things to look at, a lot of people will say, wow, the land price very attractive. We got in a good discount, entry is very good. And then the land price from 20XX. Actually, we have a lot of advantage really, because you see all these people are selling at 2004-ish, 2005-ish. And very importantly, most people, consumers, prefer older projects or newer projects. If you have a chance.
Newer.
So today, can I say Lentor Gardens, we are ignoring Lentor Central first. Right. We are the newest, we are the youngest.
Yes.
Right? So you buy a newer product, but yet you are not paying for the newer ones, are overpaying extraordinary high prices for these, because as compared versus all this. Can I say price points wise, definitely we have a huge advantage. So about of cost, point to be very, very concerned about. That means when they say 2,300-ish, this is a median. That means it can also stretch from 2,000 up to 2005, 2006, possibly also maybe 2007, we don't know. So we're just assuming 2005-ish, can buy not? Yeah, people say can buy. But knowing us, we always the more kiasi, more careful kind of people. Right? We will always say we have to be very careful of the price, the unit selection at that particular point when you are booking the unit. It's very, very important. So on top of that, like we have mentioned, right, Lentor Central, basically the land bid is already, put it this way, the cost price is already 1,200-ish already.
It's considered the highest among these 8 plots.
Yeah. Will they be selling, even you see amongst here that this is 1130, right? They are already selling at 1,009 plus to 2,006 plus to almost 2,007 already. Right? So can I say we will easily be selling at 2,006-ish plus minus. So with this, the higher you go, you have to be more careful. That's what we are trying to bring across. Right. On top of that, in terms of, that's why for those people looking into this area, hope this answers your question. Number one, oversupply, can or not? Is this really oversupply? I think in a nutshell, the SSD basically changed the whole gameplay here. Right, it depends on what unit you are looking at, which we'll be covering later. And what we feel has a stronger disadvantage will be actually Lentor mentioned. Why do we say that? It's because, see, this guy is one of the first few harmonized projects. If you are still unsure of what is harmonized, you can watch our previous videos or you can DM us. But most importantly, with this project coming in, right, harmonized project, they have 2 other developments, newer ones, also harmonized, and at almost the same, if not cheaper prices. If Kingsford decided to actually just go in, because all these, most of them are monopolized by one developer.
Right.
Yeah, so if Kingsford, they really want to take the market share, then they may do something. Yeah, but that's why they mentioned 2,000, which I think personally is quite fair. So this is what we have for the pricing. First, to sum up, you have youngest plot, attractive pricing, and then we have the next one that's coming in, definitely will be priced higher. So if you can get a good unit here at a lower price, or lower tail end of the price, I think it's something that you can seriously consider. Okay, so the next thing, right, always want to mention is actually developer pricing strategies. Because a lot of people actually are focusing on the developers pricing now. Like, what is your strategy? What can they do and everything? How do we actually go in? Personally, I will feel Kingsford a strategy actually another class one. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So you see, we take another development recently launched, also by the same developer, Kingsford. See on the left, so we have the 13th floor, 12th floor, 11th floor. Notice any difference? Yeah. So the key thing is the timing. So usually in all developments, right, people say that you buy earlier, you have a good head start, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Level 13, 1.8. Level 12, by right, should be cheaper. But then, they are bought at almost 50k higher. So this is the effect, right? So that's why a lot of people want to buy new launch. But for this development, we also look at same 11, 12, 13. This time round, the level, same thing, both level 12. Level 12 bought later, also same, okay? 11 November, the rest are all about that. Do you think they buy cheaper or buy more expensive? They actually bought cheaper. But of course not about 50K, right? Then probably you'll be thinking, how? Don't buy me. Or then what do I do? Okay, this one, to be honest and very truthful, we need to be there. You need to really know what deal is on hand. Then that's on the day itself, you need to do a lot of homework, a lot of research to be able to actually go in and pick out the best deal. Okay, but all in all, having said that, right, we're not saying that you cannot buy. Let's say if the price points, everything is good, you find a unit, the layout, but that you think you need to be there, and you have this strong concern about, then which unit should I buy? And even if you buy a little mistake, I think what we want to show you is this. You see, buy a level 10, right? On 10 November, which is the day of launch, buy a 3.11 million. Okay? Then you bought later, slightly a few months, lower floor. By right should be cheaper, but in the end, they bought at 3.175. And then about 1 year later, almost, recently, level 9, still lower floor. Okay, because we are on level 10, they bought at 3.2. Almost 100 over 1,000 more than this. So if you follow our videos before, you know, right? This is the 3-phase. So this is the phase 1, phase 2, and then now the 3-phase. A developer, if I'm not wrong, still will increase price by this. Okay, but having said this, if you really know how to look, you'll be able to actually see that on the level 18, the price difference, is it a lot? Yeah, very little only. Okay, so these are the things that we really want you to understand. Actually, if you really do a lot of research, you are able to pick up all this.
Okay, so next, I have people asking me, this project, can it be buy for investment? So what will be the rental yield be?
So we have to be very careful, as this question is not whether LG7 gives us a good rental. It all depends on whether you're buying for the rental yield or you're buying for the profitability. In today's market, with all the government policies in place, right, we have to be very careful because these two strategies are fundamentally very different. And the locations, or rather the behavior of the different projects give us very, very different outcomes.
Right.
So, for example, what we can say is that the Lentor area basically is not a rental yield kind of strategy focus for us. Developments like OMG, Hudson Place, these are the high rental yield projects. So traditionally, you don't really will be seeing a lot of high profits over there because the rental yield is already built in there. So maybe we will just give you some examples on our research. Okay. So you see, when we talk about rentability versus the rental yield, we give you the same thing. Let's say always we have clients coming to us. Hey Terence, hey Adeline, I have this budget, maybe about 1.4, 1.5 plus minus. Which one should I buy? Which area should I consider? And things like that.
Yes.
Correct or not? So you see over here, we have Affinity at Serangoon. Okay, it's a 3 bedrooms and versus Uptown at Farrer. This is actually in so we see about 1.4, 1.5 is almost the same price. Timing, both are in the same year, a few months apart. Okay, so the sales date, they bought and sell at the same time. This is just for the research purpose. What we really want to show and highlight to you. Okay, end of the day, one sold higher, one sold. Why is this so? Because you have to understand fundamentally the locations are different. The behaviors of these projects and developments are also going to be different. So you see the profit for this is 300 over 1,000, whereas this is only 130, right? But does this mean Uptown and Farrer is not a good project? No, we are not saying that. We're just saying that you see the rental, this is about 4.2%.
Oh, that's very high.
Yes, versus the yield for Affinity, because this is a primarily kind of own stay kind of area, right? So people who go there will be buying for own stay. So the strategy is always when we go, so you heard a lot of people saying, hey, I buy as big as you can. No right, no wrong, right? But you have to understand where you are going for. So to also, we want to give you another example, right? It's like, you see, now we have Farrer at Bukit Timah, District 21, okay, in the Bukit Timah area versus the Iveria. This is a District 9 project, okay? So same, almost 1 month apart, slightly different price, but still within comfortable range. Let's say if you have a 2.2 million, this is where you usually will end up headache over. I want to buy this area, or I can buy that area, right? So almost so at different timing, same timing, I mean, the sales price is almost the same.
Right.
But then you see, this one, 300 over 1,000 in profit, but this one, lesser, okay? But does this mean, again, this is not a good project? No, because if you calculate everything, the unit, the rental is so much stronger, right, at 6,000 plus, this is only 4,000. So 2.18%. Of course, for the rental yield versus this one is actually doing well, 3%.
Yeah.
And last but not least, these are the different sizes that we map out for you. Not really very critical, not really very important, but just for you to know, right? The spread from 600 over to 700 plus for the 2 bedrooms, decent. Actually, we are very comparable, right? Last but not least, this is what we have. I think this is Adeline,
Yes.
this is Terence. So let us know if you have any challenges, any questions. Okay, we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.
Right, thank you.